across the sun now. Across the sun now.
Agriculture is 80% of our economy in Kenya. So I can advise them to do agricultural courses.
They take the agricultural courses.
Yeah, they take the agricultural courses.
Iko pesa.
Iko pesa.
Oh, umeona pesa. Lakini unajua wewe ni mwana biashara.
Yeah.
Make a date with me every Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 9:15 in the morning here at the Farmers Media, the breakfast show. Let us start the day right here.
Hello, good morning, and good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. My name is Mary Osoro. As usual, I'm standing in for no one as Kelly will be back by next week. I'm so glad you're able to join us this morning. It's a very beautiful Thursday morning. It's always a throwback Thursday. Tunakumbuka yaliyopita, what happened when we had our ancestors. So today I'll be talking about animals because animals was something that was a type of farming. Livestock farming was a type of farming that was mostly practiced by our ancestors. So I'm so excited about this day. Ensure you follow us on our social media platforms. We are live on Facebook at Farmers Media, on YouTube at Farmers Media, on Twitter at Farmers with a Z_media, and on our website www.afarmers.com. So welcome again. This is a Farmers Media where we connect, learn, and grow, and this is the breakfast show. Yes, so today we have a very interesting topic, but before we dive into the topic, I hope you as my viewer you're having a very good morning. It's so cold this morning, but I hope you're having a good morning, and make sure when you start your morning on a high note, you will definitely have a good day. So I hope just like you started yours on a high note. We have so much to share today. I think I have an article that I'll be sharing with you, but ensure first of all you subscribe to our YouTube channel and become part of the Farmers Media family, and also follow our Facebook page. We love new members. When you get into our pages and you subscribe and follow, we welcome you. Tunakupea kachai kidogo, you become part of the family. Na tunasonga mbele pamoja. So today I have a very interesting article here before I get into the topic. It's an animal concerning wildlife and also the government. It's an interesting article by Renson Nyamwezi. I suggest this is a title or something. It's a very interesting article by Renson Nyamwezi. We have actually the topic of the article is titled "To Get a Share of Stavo Billions." I suspected this writer is from Coast, and it's like I'm right because you can see the article is just from Coast. Titled "To Get a Share of Stavo Billions." Actually, negotiations between the Taita Taveta County government and Kenya Wildlife Service (KWS) over the sharing of revenue from the Tsavo National Park have kicked off. Just from the first paragraph, I can already tell that they want to divide the shares that they get from the Tsavo National Park. Is it a national park? Yes. They want to divide the shares that they get from the Tsavo National Park, and they want to divide it with the county government of Taita Taveta. I think there will be a 50% revenue sharing collected from the park between the county government and the KWS. I don't know if this is a good idea. You as a farmer, you're the one who can tell us. Maybe let me look at the details. We have started meeting. This is a conversation, or this is information from one of them. We have started meeting with senior KWS and Ministry of Mining officials to fast track the implementation process of the revenue sharing as directed by President Ruto when he toured the county last month. So This type of information was directed by the president. I think the president is the one who gave out the orders that the KWS from the Taita National Park, the Taita Taveta National Park, should be sharing the revenue with the county government. That was directed by the President William Ruto when he visited that area last month. I don't know you as my viewer how you can take that. Do you think it's right for a national park that is based in a county to share the revenue 50-50 with the county government? Is it a way of collecting tax? Is it a way of supporting the county government? I'm really trying to get what is going on here, whether it's a way of collecting tax from the national park, or it's a way of just supporting the county government. And you can tell me in the comment section, what do you think? Is it right for a national park that is situated in a county just like the Taita Taveta one to share the revenue they get with the county government? You can tell us this is the hustler government. So I think maybe you can have more information about it, or maybe you can tell me, what do you think? Is it right for the national park to share the revenues on a 50-50% basis with the county government? National government. Anyway, let's dive into the topic of the day. I think that is a question that I'll leave you with. I'll leave you with that question so that you can answer and you can tell me your views about it. My views, I keep them to myself, so I want to hear from you if it is right for the county government to share a revenue collected from the national park, from the Taita Taveta National Park. That information, that order was given by the current president, President William Ruto. Anyway, our main topic of the day is rearing livestock for sustainable meat production. When I talk about meat here, vegetarians will not really enjoy this topic, but maybe you're a vegetarian but you're still handling livestock. We can still flow with you. So we talk about rearing livestock for sustainable meat production. When I talk about livestock, we have different type of animals. We don't only talk about cows. It's just that I only know when I talk about meat, I only know cows, chicken. But we have I recently realized that even camels, we can eat camel meat. That one I was informed by my mid-morning co-host Regina. So I should try it one day. I think camels are also part of the livestock. So that's why we are talking about rearing livestock for sustainable meat production. Actually, this one is just involves raising animals in a way that balances environmental, social, and economic factors. And with it, there are so many importances of rearing animals for sustainable meat production. So I'll just directly dive into the importance of doing that. First of all, it's resource efficiency. Sustainable livestock farming minimizes resource consumption by optimizing feed conversion, water usage, and land utilization. When you practice sustainable livestock farming, there are high chances that you minimize resources because you have your animals there. You don't really need to spend money to go buy products like meat. When I talk about animals, I even include chicken. Sorry, I even include chicken because they give you meat and they also give you eggs. So you'll be using less resources. Even when it comes to feeding them, because now you're focused on livestock farming. When it comes to feeding them, I believe as a farmer you should always find a way of feeding your animals without even struggling to go buy excess things, and also you utilize your land also. Then let's talk about food security. Livestock provides a crucial protein source for many populations, contributing to global food security. We have cows. Cows can give us red meat. So if you're a red meat lover and you're practicing livestock farming, I believe not most of the people who practice livestock farming can go buy meat in the butchery, because now they already have the meat at home. Even chicken, when you're rearing chicken, you don't need to go buy chicken. You already have it there, and it actually gives you meat. Chicken actually gives you meat and eggs, so you'll have enough food. And the cows actually give you meat and milk, so definitely you'll have enough food. I think it was last week when I was listening to the breakfast show with Noah and he had Stephanie as a guest. They were talking about Fred's Ranch, and I just got to realize, I just learned that Fred's Ranch, they have so many, they have animals, they plant different types of vegetables, different types of crops. So for them, Fred doesn't remember the last time he went to the shop to buy things like meat, like vegetables. So I think it's also a good one because now when you're practicing sustainable livestock farming, you will not also remember when you last went to buy meat or even eggs or even milk. So it's a way it's a simple way of contributing to global food security. That is if you are practicing sustainable livestock rearing. Then we have rural livelihoods. Livestock farming supports rural economies and livelihoods, especially in developing countries. It's so rare for us to find someone practicing livestock farming in an urban area. They're mostly practiced in a rural area. And even if they're practicing in an urban area, you realize that it's not like urban in town. Maybe it's somewhere like Nairobi, but in the interior. So we can say that that is now an urban setup as such. So this one is mostly practiced in rural area, and it supports the rural economies because now mostly in developing countries like ours, Kenya is a developing country. So when farmers practice sustainable livestock farming in their rural areas, in a way you are just helping each other in that community. You're helping each other in that you can be buying, you don't need to go buy milk at the shop. You can be buying milk from a fellow farmer. You can be buying meat from a farmer. So in a way, it just supports the economy and livelihoods in that rural setup. And then we have carbon sequestration. Well-managed grazing systems can help sequester carbon, mitigating climate change. So, livestock rearing for meat also have advantages and disadvantages. So, first of all, let's talk about the advantages. We have efficient land use, nutrient cycling, income generation, soil fertility, diversification, and many others. So, I'm just going to be breaking them down into bits so that you get to understand them bit by bit. So, one of the advantages of rearing livestock for meat is efficient land use. Livestock can convert non-edible plant materials into valuable proteins, utilizing land that's unsuitable for crop cultivation. I'll just take that again. Livestock can convert non-edible plant material into valuable protein, utilizing land that's unsuitable for crop cultivation. So, when you are rearing, when you have your animals, maybe they are grazing in a certain field, they normally release some waste. That waste can also act as manure. The moment they release waste in that place, actually, when you're practicing, let me just say, when you're practicing different types of grazing methods, maybe you can have your animals in your farm, they graze there, they take their feeds there, and then they leave you the waste. After leaving the waste in that farm, definitely the place now will have enough manure, and then the land will be fertile, the manure will make the land to be fertile, and it will also be easy now for crop cultivation. You can easily plant your crops in that place where the animals are grazing on, because now they've already released some manure and they're good for your farm. Then you have nutrient cycling. Animals can help cycle nutrients by consuming crop residues and returning organic matter to the soil as manure. I think I've also explained that a little bit. Then you have income generation. Livestock farming can provide income and employment opportunities, especially in rural areas. When you're practicing livestock farming, maybe in large scale, you'll need definitely a hand. You need someone to help. You need a laborer. That way you'll be creating employment for someone. So it's a way of creating employment. You need someone to be cleaning maybe your animals, to be cleaning the sheds where your animals spend their time, to be milking your animals. Milking also is a skill. It needs someone who is so skilled in that sector. Not everyone can just milk. I remember when I was growing up, we had some cows, and among girls, we just had one sister who could milk. I've never seen any of my brothers milk, but we had a sister who could milk. I don't know how she had that interest. Mimi na ng'ombe, kuna venye tupatani kidogo, but my sister, she used to milk. I think she was just taught by my dad, and then now she used to do it every morning. When my dad would wake up to go and milk, she would go with him. So I think that is how she learned how to milk cows. So milking cows is also a skill. Not just anybody can do it. So you need someone who can be helping you to milk your cows. That is if you don't have those machines, because nowadays technology has helped us as farmers, and you can get machines that we use for milking cows. That is if you have so many cows. I think I've visited a livestock farm, a very big one, and they have those machines. Those cows were so many and they were big. They couldn't be milked by just a human being. So they were using some machines to milk those cows. But even with those machines, you still need someone to be checking how they are working during that milking time. So it creates employment opportunities, and it also provides income, because, for example, you can be selling milk. In that way, you just get back your money, even the one that used to buy that cow, or even the one that used to buy feeds for that cow. You can sell your eggs. You're just getting money to even buy extra food for your chicken. So it's a way of generating income, especially in rural areas, actually, but also those who practice it in urban areas. The interiors of the urban areas, they also have an advantage. Then we have soil fertility. Manure from livestock can improve soil fertility and structure, enhancing agricultural productivity. Once your animals release the animal waste, it's so easy, like, for you to get enough manure. You can be picking that animal waste and just spreading it in your farm. After spreading it in your farm, you give it some time, it will fully mix with the soil, and then that is how your soil will be fertile. So having livestock around is an advantage, especially if you're practicing livestock farming and you're also into other types of farming, like livestock keeping, and you're also into other types of farming, like you plant your crops. The animal waste will easily help you in the farm, because at the end of the day, now you have your livestock. They are doing well. When they release the waste, you pick them, you take them to the shamba, and then they decompose there. At the end of the day, you have a fertile soil for your crops. Then you have diversification. Combining crop and livestock farming can provide a diversified income stream and reduce vulnerability to market fluctuations. Let me take an example of a farmer who is rearing chicken, who have cows, sheep, goat, and then at the same time, he or she is planting maybe maize, carrots, watermelons. At the end of the day, now you get manure from here, you take it to the farm. The soil is fertile, your crops grow well, you're selling milk, you're selling poultry, you're selling eggs, and you're still selling carrots, watermelons, oranges, even the maize, you're still selling all those. You'll be getting so much income. So combining crop and livestock farming is an interesting field to venture in if you need that money. Actually, if you need that money, or even if you have so many responsibilities, or if you just love money like I do, you can practice both you can combine crop and livestock farming. So everything that has an advantage must always have a disadvantage, definitely. But before I get into the disadvantages, ensure you follow us on our social media platforms. We are still live on YouTube at Farmers Media, on Facebook at Farmers Media, on Twitter at farmers_media, and click on our website www.farmers.com. And also ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow our page so that you become part of the family. We love welcoming new members in the Farmers Media. So what tunawakaribisha nyinyi wote When you come across this page, I encourage you that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you also ensure that you follow our Facebook page. We are not yet enough. We love so many people, so we want us to be enough. We love when we are in excess, because our big family, when you have a big family, it's so easy to give responsibilities. You don't even need to struggle, especially when you're the mother and the father, just sit down and give instructions. So our parents just feel that we are not enough, they need more children. So please join us so that you become part of our family. So we have the disadvantages. So one of the disadvantages is resource intensity. Livestock farming can require significant resources including water, feed, and energy. So let me talk about water first. Animals consume so much water. Animals need excess water, because you can't just give so many animals one basin of water to drink from. It will not be enough. So the moment you have animals, you need excess water. And this is what I mean. That is, if you don't have a water body like in your place, or even if you have it and it's far away, you need to look for a way of bringing that water into your home so that your animals can drink from that place. Animals are also just like human beings, so you should treat them well. You should give them clean water. So I'm just remembering that there are farmers who have so many animals and they take them to drink water at the rivers. Uh, Definitely, the water in the river is not so clean, especially where the animals can't reach, because they can't go deep. They can't go like in the middle of the river. They just have to drink from the river bank. Here, the water there is not normally clean. So when you are venturing into livestock farming, please be ready to be giving your animals clean water. Maybe you can just add minerals into the water, but the water should always be clean. So it might be tiresome getting that water, especially if you have so many animals. Then let's talk about feeds. Also, getting their feeds is not easy, because now you'll be spending money. That is just a way of using resources now. You'll be spending money to get the food for your chicken, the food for your cows, for your sheep, for your goats, for your camels, because they also need food. So you can be buying maybe fodder for your cows. You buy maybe the jam. I think chicken have a food called jam, I'm not so sure. But now you have to buy those. The growers, the chick mash. Yes, you need to use money in order for you to get those. And also energy. Actually, you need power, like electricity, because now at night sometimes you have to handle your animals. Some animals are milked at night. You can't milk them in the dark. You will not even see whatever you're doing. So you will be needing that. And when I talk about needing something like electricity, you need to pay for it. Even if you're using the solar energy, as much as it uses, it depends on the sun. But at the end of the day, that solar you're buying it, so it needs some resources. That is a disadvantage of rearing livestock. So you have to be ready now to cope with the disadvantages. Another one is land degradation. Overgrazing and poor management practices can lead to land degradation, soil erosion, and loss of biodiversity. When you overgraze your animals in one particular land, like each and every time when you release your animals, you just take them to that place. They eat all the grass there until that place remains just it has soil. But you still don't move them, you still just leave them there. They keep on stepping on the land, they are spoiling the structure of that land, and they can even cause soil erosion, because animals, they have do I call them legs? They're not actually legs. It depends on the type of animal. They'll be stepping on that land. They're spoiling the soil structure of that land. They are causing soil erosion, because now they have grazed there and you're still not moving them. And some of the animals might even start to leak now the soil. That is not good. So overgrazing there can cause land degradation. Then you have greenhouse gas emissions. Livestock contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, primarily methane, impacting climate change. Then the next one is animal welfare. Ethical concerns arise from intensive confinement and factory farming practices. So animals, there's a way you also take good care of your animals. So if you're not sure about the ethics, if you're not sure of how to take good care of your animals, it can be a disadvantage. You have to be aware of how you'll be taking good care of your animals. Animals even include actually taking good care of your animals even includes ensuring they're vaccinated. So the moment you can't ensure that your animals are well taken care of, it's a disadvantage. Then you have disease transmission. Concentrated animal populations can facilitate the spread of diseases impacting both animals and humans. So when you have your animals compacted in one particular area, like for example, you have your goats in one particular area, they're there zimefinyana huko ndani, they are so compacted in one place. You realize that maybe one goat was sick, and it will now spread the sickness to the rest because now they are compacted in that one particular environment. There is no spacing. They don't even sleep well. They never be healthy because now they'll be spreading the disease from one animal to the next. It's just like placing maybe your tomatoes in one basket and adding that one bad tomato to each. At the end of the day, you'll be spoiling all of them because if you give them time, the spoilage will be spreading in that basket. That's just the same way. If you have your animals compacted in one place and one is sick, the disease will be transmitted from one animal to another. Key points are like a sustainable livestock farming aims to minimize environmental impacts while meeting nutritional demands. And then the next one, practices include rotational grazing, improved feed efficiency, and waste recycling. So you should practice rotational grazing. Don't just place your animals in one particular place, then be struggling actually in that place. And then you should also improve the feeding efficiency of your animals, ensure your animals feed well, and at the end of the day, you'll be having enough waste that you can recycle or even take to your farm and use it as manure. So agroforestry systems combine trees and livestock to enhance ecosystem resilience. So you practice agroforestry. Actually, agroforestry is just basically you practice the farming of trees and livestock in one particular area. Then you have selective breeding can also improve animal genetics, leading to healthier and more productive livestock. When you select the breed that you want, maybe you can take an Ayrshire and then you breed it maybe with an Asian. Do we have a cow called Asian? No, I really doubt. There's an Ayrshire, but there's no Asian. I'm not sure, but I think an Ayrshire is something I'm sure of because we've had an Ayrshire in my place. So maybe you take that Ayrshire and breed it with the teenage animal. You'll get maybe a good breed at the end of the day. So in summary, rearing livestock for sustainable meat production is crucial for balancing food security, resource efficiency, and environmental concerns. It offers advantages and also it has disadvantages. So I think I'll be just talking about some of the additional advantages because those ones I talked about the main ones. Now I wanted to know maybe these other ones that you are not sure if there are advantages or there are disadvantages. We have local economies. Livestock farming can stimulate local economies by generating income for small-scale farmers and supporting related industries like feed production and veterinary services. So when you are rearing your livestock, at the end of the day, you need to vaccinate your livestock. You need medicine for them in case they are sick. You're promoting now the veterinary doctors. That is a way of promoting that type of field. You'll be promoting the veterinary doctors, and also you'll be promoting those who are selling feeds, the agrovets where they sell feeds, or even just farmers who just grow the feeds for animals. So it's just a way of supporting the local economy, and you'll also be generating income for small scale farmers. Maybe there are farmers who are rearing livestock but not in large quantities. Some of them maybe they can be selling milk. I think these I've seen in my place so much. You find a farmer, their cow has just given birth, It's just one cow, but at least now they can be selling milk from that cow until now the milk is cleared. Then we have cultural significance. Livestock often holds cultural and traditional importance in many societies, contributing to cultural identity and social cohesion. These are I'm just going to give an example of the Luya land. In Luya land, they have a game called bullfighting. It's something they really believe in. The bullfighting game. People can even travel all the way from Nairobi, from Eldoret, just to go and watch the bullfighting. It's always something big. It's their culture. So you can imagine bullfighting could have not been there if there were no bulls, if no farmer had animals. So when you practice maybe livestock farming, now that is in that way you can even give out your bull to also go and participate in such an event. It's always a very beautiful event. I've attended one of the bullfighting events. It's beautiful. Let me just say, when you see it, you feel you are in the right place. You feel that your country is promoting that culture, that Luya culture, because it's so great watching bulls fight and people are celebrating. That is something that is it's not easy to find in so many countries. But now in Kenya, the Luya culture, they normally practice that bullfighting. So when you have animals like bulls now, you can even take yours to go participate in that bullfighting game. Then you have diversified diet. Livestock products, including meat, dairy, and eggs, provide a variety of nutrients, contributing to well-rounded diet and addressing malnutrition. Actually, these are basically proteins. Eggs are proteins, meat protein, and milk is also a protein. So when you have your livestock, be sure that you have proteins already. So you just need to look for carbohydrates and vitamin, and then you're good to go. You'll not be malnourished at the end of the day, because these types of products, they are rich in protein. So you don't need to struggle to get protein. Nowadays, maisha imekuwa ngumu, not so many people can afford to get proteins, but just imagine you had your poultry, or even you had your animals there, your cows, your goats back at home. You don't need to struggle, because protein is actually next to you. It's just a matter of slaughtering it, and then you prepare it. Just look for vegetables and your ugali, and then you're good to go. You'll never be malnourished. And actually, there are different ways of storing meat, of keeping meat for quite some time before you eat it. You can roast and even keep it for future use. So you don't have to feel that this is a whole goat. If I slaughter it, how will I eat it alone? Apart from sharing, there are different ways like smoking, roasting. You can use those traditional methods to preserve your proteins like meat. Then we have ecosystem services. Properly managed livestock can contribute to ecosystem services like pollination, pest control, and soil nutrient cycling. By soil nutrient cycling, I mean when you properly manage the animals, you use the waste in your soil so that your soil can be fertile. And then when I talk about pest control, when your animals are well taken care of, no pest will come and attack it. When you just abandon your cows there, you don't wash them, you don't clean them, you don't bake them, you don't take good care of them, ticks will always stick to that animal and they will always be in pain. But when you take good care of your animals, definitely you're chasing away the pest. No pest will always attack your animals. So that is another advantage. Then these are some of the additional disadvantages of livestock rearing. We have water scarcity. I think I just mentioned it when I first talked about it. Livestock farming can exacerbate water scarcity issues, especially in water-stressed regions due to high water consumption. Let's talk about an area like maybe the semi-arid areas, an area like maybe Turkana or even Samburu. Such places, they experience drought a lot. They have a water body, but it's always far. maybe from the place where they live. So they have to walk a long distance before they get there. So when they're keeping the animals, because now they're pastoralists, when they have their livestock, they have to strain so much before their livestock gets to the water body, or even getting just going to get that water and bring it home for the animals is something so difficult because water is so scarce, and animals need a lot of water. So the moment water is scarce, it's a disadvantage because the animals will be suffering, or you as a farmer, you'll also be struggling to get them water from the water body, from the river back to them. Then you have antibiotic resistance. Overuse of antibiotics in livestock can contribute to the development of antibiotic resistant bacteria, posing risk to human health. First of all, this one, let me just give an example of human beings first. You as a human being, if each and every time you always have a headache, you just take Panadol, 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 each and every time. It will reach a point that when you even take that Panadol, it's not working because your body is so resistant to it. It is so actually, it gets to a point your body knows Panadol, and now they are best friends with that Panadol. That's the same way that if you give animals antibiotics each and every time in excess, at the end of the day, it will get to a point that the antibiotic resistant bacteria will be so strong there that even those antibiotics will not help. You'll be trying to treat your animals and then they're not getting well. At the end of the day, they end up dying. You don't know the reason. The main reason is because each and every time your animal is sick, you just give the animal antibiotics. And then it gets to a point that the body of the animal is now used to the antibiotic, and that way it will also pose a risk to the human health because most people when their animals die, not everybody wants to know what killed the animal. Yes, it's advisable that when an animal dies before I slaughter, in fact, you should just do away with it. You should just bury it. But some people I see maybe they call a veterinary doctor to test the animal and know the cause of the death before they slaughter it. But there are some ignorant farmers who just slaughter the animal and share, and then they cook and eat without even knowing what killed the animal. It's so important to know what killed it. So, because at the end of the day, if you just give your animals antibiotics, it dies maybe from now, because now the drug was not working, and now it's dead and you don't know the cause, and you just eat the meat. Maybe it might even poison us as human beings. Then we have deforestation. In some cases, expansion of livestock production leads to deforestation, contributing to habitat loss and biodiversity. Deforestation is basically cutting down of trees and not replacing them. So if you have excess livestock, some people tend to even cut down now the trees to use for different purposes, to even build the cow sheds. Yes, they use them to even build the cow shed. So the moment you're just cutting down trees and you're not replacing them, in the name of helping the animals with the trees, you're just contributing to habitat loss. So that's another disadvantage. Then waste management, large-scale livestock operations can produce significant amounts of waste, which, if not managed properly, can lead to water and soil pollution. Let me take us back to where I was telling you that some farmers just take their animals to go drink water at the rivers. The animals might get there and then they release their waste in the rivers. They are already polluting the environment by polluting that water. Because that river didn't need your animal waste, but now you've taken your animal to go drink water in that river, and that animal has released their waste in that river. It is polluting the water. Some of the smell might even kill some of the aquatic animals. So that is also another disadvantage. If you don't manage that waste well, if you don't ensure that your animals just release their waste at the appropriate place, if they release it in a water body, it can cause water pollution. Then we have sustainability measures. Under sustainability measures, you have grass-fed systems, you have organic farming, mixed farming, agroecology, and many others. So before I start breaking them down and explaining them bit by bit, I'd like to remind you this is a farmer's media. So when we tell you this is a farmer's media, this is what we mean. We want you to join us, be part of our family by subscribing to our YouTube channel and also following our Facebook page. Remember, we are still live on YouTube at Farmers Media. On Facebook, we're still live at Farmers Media. Twitter at Farmers with a Z underscore media. Our website, ensure you click www.farmers also with a Z.com so that you know whatever we always do, whatever we offer. You learn from us as we also learn from you. This is the breakfast show. Today we are talking about the sustainable livestock. Actually, today we are talking about rearing livestock for sustainable meat production. This is just basically just keep your animals so that at the end of the day you get meat, you get maybe milk. At the end of the day, it's not only meat that we have to measure on. We can even measure on milk, even eggs. So it's just basically growing, rearing livestock so that you can get products that can help you bring income or even for food. So let's move to the sustainability measures. First of all, we have grass-fed systems. Raising animals on natural pasture reduces the need for resource-intensive feed, minimizing environmental impact. So you're just having your livestock feed on the natural grass, just on the grass that grow. You don't need to spend money to go buy them fodder, go buy them hay. You just in one way or the other, you're just keeping your resources, like you're not spending money. Kazi yako ni kuwapeleka tu nje, then you just act like a pastoralist. So the only difference between you and a pastoralist is that pastoralists move from one place to another and they go for long distances. But now you just ensure that your animals are feeding on the grass that is around your place. So that way you are saving your money. Then we have organic farming. Organic livestock farming emphasizes natural feed, reduced chemical usage, and animal welfare standards. When you're practicing organic livestock farming, you don't need to go buy things at the environment to add to your animal feeds. You just feed them naturally, just ensure they eat maybe the napier grass, just the grass that you get from your local farms. You don't go buy the food from other suppliers or even from the agrovet. So in that way you are reducing the chemical usage. Your animal will not be consuming different chemicals, so they just be growing naturally, and also their general health will be okay. The general health will be okay. They normally say health is wealth. So the moment the general health of your animal is fine, you can easily sell it at a good price. You can easily sell the meat at a good price, and also you can just feed on it and you don't have any fear of getting any type of disease. Then you have mixed farming. Integrating livestock with crops creates a closed loop system that optimizes resource utilization and waste management. Actually, practicing mixed farming is interesting, and it's also a way of getting so much income. Just imagine you have livestock and you also have crops. At the end of the day, you'll be utilizing so much, like the waste. You'll be taking the waste from animals, just like I mentioned before, taking them to the shamba, and then your crops will be growing them because your soil is now fertile. And then now maybe after you've harvested maybe your crops, something like maize, you still check the maize stock and then come back and feed the animals with the maize stock. So it's an interesting rotational way of practicing mixed farming. You just rotate around your farm. You don't go buy things outside. Just use your animal waste to give to your crops. Your crops grow well after you've harvested. You take maybe the residues, give them to the animals, they feed on them, give you the waste again. So it's always a beautiful type of farming to practice. Then we have agroecology, incorporating ecological principles in farming systems enhances biodiversity, and reduces environmental impact. Then finally, regenerative agriculture. Practices such as cover cropping and rotational grazing restore soil health and enhances ecosystem resilience. So, when you practice cover cropping and also rotational grazing, your soil cover crops definitely when you plant your cover crops, your soil will always be fertile because it will be retaining water, it will be retaining moisture, it will always be fertile because there will be no erosion. So practicing cover crops are just like grass, planting grass, trees. So when you plant those in your farm, there will be no soil erosion. So the soil health and the soil structure will always be good. So I think at this point we are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be talking about consumer role. When we come back, we'll be talking about the consumer role because we can't just be mentioning livestock, and we're not talking about the consumers. So make sure you still follow us. You're still live on YouTube at Farmers Media, on Facebook at Farmers Media, on Twitter at Farmers with the Z_media, and on our website www.farmers.com. Make sure you still keep tuning in. This is the Breakfast Show, and this is a Farmers Media where we connect, learn, and grow. We'll be back.
Across.
To have healthy cows that produce well, you need to feed them with enough energy from fodder crops, proteins from supplements like dairy meal and legume plants such as caliandra, along with minerals, vitamins, and water. For a healthy cow weighing 380 kilograms, it will need to eat 1 bale of hay a day, which is the same as 20 kilograms of fresh fodder. If you are growing your own fodder, you'll need about 1 acre per year to feed 1 cow, 1 heifer, and a cow. Good fodder grasses include disease-resistant napier grass, bracharia, and panicum grasses. If you don't have enough land to feed your cows, then you'll need to buy extra fodder from other places. Remember to always have clean water available to your cows. If you want your cows to produce plenty of good milk, make sure they are always well fed.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. This is still a Farmers Media where we connect, learn, and grow. And my name is Mary Oswero. So before we went for a break, we were tackling our main topic of the day, that is livestock rearing for meat production. Yes, and we had talked about the importance of that and also some of the advantages and the disadvantages. Actually, I talked about the main advantages and also the main disadvantages. And then later on, I picked on the rest of them. But first of all, before we continue, we are still live on YouTube at Farmers Media, on Facebook at Farmers Media, on Twitter at Farmers with the Z_media, and on our website www.farmers.com. And when we started, I brought out a question that I needed your views on. There's an article that was written by one of the script writers, I think. It was in a certain magazine concerning an order that President William Ruto had given out concerning the 50-50 shares of the county government of Taveta and also the Taita Taveta National Park. And I asked a very simple question. What do you think? Is it right for the county government to be sharing revenue with a national park in the area. I need your views on that. I say that I'll be keeping my views to myself. I'm still asking myself, is it a way of taxing that national park, or is it just a way of supporting the county government? Anyway, that is a question posed to you. At the end of the day, you can give us your comments on that. What do you think? Should they share a 50-50%? Should they share a 50-50%? Let me put it out, 50-50% money that is collected from the national park. Should they share that money with the county government? Is it right? Did the president do the right thing by ordering such? Tell us in the comment section. That has been my question of the day, actually. So let's move to the consumer roles. So under consumer roles, we have conscious choices, we have reduced consumption, local sourcing. So I'll just be discussing them in detail. So let's start with the conscious choices. Consumers can support a sustainable meat production by choosing products from farms that prioritize animal welfare, environmental stewardship, and ethical practices. Actually, consumers are us as human beings, we're the ones who consume the meat. So we can just support sustainable meat production. You can choose products from farms. That's why as a farmer you're encouraged to take good care of your animals, because consumers only choose products from farms that prioritize animal welfare. We don't expect a consumer to come buy from you a cow that looks so malnourished. A cow that do not feed well, when you look at it, you just see the ribs. A consumer will not buy such a cow because it just looks like a dying cow. They will prefer those fat ones, they will prefer good milk. There are farmers actually who milk their cows and then they still add water to it. I still don't understand why some farmers do that. They add water into that milk before they take it to the market. At the end of the day, you're not helping yourself, because consumers will come buy the milk, yes, then they'll realize that the milk had water. Next time you won't get customers. So for us as consumers, normally prefer buying a quality product. If you're selling milk from your cows, sell milk that is quality. Don't add water into it. Sell good meat. Nobody wants to buy a meat that looks like it had slept in your house for maybe a week before you came out to sell it. So that is why consumers will always prefer buying products from farmers who take good care of their animals. And then we have reduced consumption. Reducing meat consumption, especially of resource-intensive types like beef, can lower the overall environmental print. They normally say that excessive taking of red meat is bad. It's bad for your health. So when you reduce the meat consumption, yes, it's good for your health. But at the end of the day, farmers still want you to buy from them. It's just that even after you buy from the farmers, ensure that you take just in small quantity. They believe that, I think, white meat is better than red meat. But anyway, in livestock, we have animals like cows, and we still have chicken. So when you're a chicken farmer, when you're a poultry farmer, always be sure that so many people will still buy from you, because so many people love consuming white meat, but red meat is also good. Then you have local sourcing. Buying locally produced meat supports regional economies and reduces the carbon footprint associated with transportation. In conclusion, rearing livestock for sustainable meat production involves a comprehensive approach that considers ecological, social, and economic aspects, balancing the advantages and disadvantages through responsible practices, policy support, and informed consumer choices is essential for ensuring a long-term viability of meat production. Each and every time that I have a topic here, I must always talk about technology, because we are in the generation Z world now. We are in the next generation. Whatever people from this generation do, our parents or from the previous generations, most of them do not understand actually what is happening now. So even in farming, Whatever was practiced some time back, the previous generation mostly is not practiced here because technology has taken over. So we have some technological innovations. We have precision agriculture, sorry. We have alternative protein sources. We have nutritional optimization. Technology has taken place in a very big way. That's why we're seeing there are machines that you can use to milk your cows. We have machines that are used to dehorn the cows. We have machines that are used to slaughter so many chicken at once. Actually, there's just a factory that there's a machine they use. They just slaughter the cows. They slaughter the chicken. They remove the feathers. They remove the inner organs and then they wash it. These ones are just done in the machines. Those technological machines. Those are things that were never there back then. Back then, you just take a knife and then you slaughter the chicken. You struggle by yourself to remove the feathers. You're the one who ensures that the chicken is clean. No machine will wash it for you. So, but nowadays, we have different types of machines that are used to do all that. So let's talk about precision agriculture first of all. Technology like sensors and data analytics can optimize feed, water, and energy use, improving overall efficiency. So when you're practicing livestock farming, we have technologies like sensors and data analytics. Sensors are there maybe to sense if maybe there's something wrong with your animal. Yes, just like the sensors can also sense if there's something wrong in your farm. And then we have data and analytics. You can get machines that can analyze data for your farm. They can know how many animals are there, how many came back, how many did not come back, the kilograms of different animals, what you need to do. Like when you just look at the data in your farm, from the machine, you can easily know where you can improve on. Then they also check the feed, the water, and the energy use. Then we have alternative protein sources. Research into lab-grown meat and plant-based alternative offers potential solutions to reduce environmental impact of traditional livestock farming. Then we also have nutritional optimization. Developing feed formulas that enhance animal health and reduce environmental impacts can lead more sustainable meat production. There's some nutritional values, there's some nutritional benefits that you can give to your animals that at the end of the day they will always produce. They will always, your animals will grow well, they will grow fat, and you will have good meat production at the end of the day. That is if you just add the nutritious products that are necessary for your animals. We have government and policy interventions. In our country, Kenya, you have to listen to the government. So each and every time that you are talking about anything, be it farming, agriculture, any other thing, you have also to include the government. Yes, because the government is the head. So we have government and policy interventions. Under government and policy interventions, we have subsidies and incentives. Governments can provide financial support for sustainable livestock practices, encouraging farmers to adopt environmentally friendly methods. Actually, each government actually under the Ministry of Agriculture, they can easily support livestock practices. And I've seen them doing that. By first of all, some of them they give out cows, they give out goats, or even they support farmers by giving them the feeds. So you see, when you want to venture into livestock farming and you see the government doing that, you'll be so encouraged so that even the next time now they are giving out cows, they are giving out feeds, you're also one of the farmers who will be going there to collect them. In my place, I've seen them. They were giving out cows, and then after giving you the cows, they provided a tractor that could help you till your land so that you grow feeds for your cows. That is how they do it in my area. Maybe you can tell me in the comment section how the government helps in your area when it comes to livestock farming. We have regulations. Enforcing a stricter environmental standards and animal welfare regulations can guide the industry towards more sustainable practices. So actually each and every field always have rules. So I think the government also has always given out rules when it comes to taking good care of animals. We don't really encourage just killing animals aimlessly. I think that's why when you even see an area where animals have been killed, even by drought, the government will always focus so much on such areas because in Kenya we don't really promote the killing of animals. There are always regulations and they are strict on the environmental standards and the animal welfare. How you're taking good care of your animal, how you're handling that animal is so important to our government. You don't just handle your animal like a trash. You don't see it as something and it's taking care of you and you don't see it as anything. You just handle it as trash. The government doesn't want that. They have regulations. You take good care of the animals because the moment they realize that you're even having an animal, that is always an offense in our country. Then you have education and extension services, providing farmers with training and information on sustainable livestock management practices can drive positive change. I think that is something that not only the government, even these NGOs, they practice that. They provide training. So as a livestock farmer, when you hear of any training that is there, please make an effort of going to attend such trainings. They are always very, very important. You can come out maybe with something you didn't know, or you can create market for yourself there. When you get there, maybe you can take people. I normally sell poultry, so if at all you want poultry, you can visit my farm. That is a way of exposing yourself to a different world, and also inviting people to see your farm. Maybe so many people might be interested, and you might even gain income. You might even get a good income from that training. Apart from just getting the knowledge, you can get even money. So it's always so important that you make an effort of attending such trainings. Such trainings are always very important. So we always encourage you to attend them because you'll meet experts there. Experts will talk about things that you didn't know. And in such trainings, you are allowed to ask questions. You don't hold back whatever you want to know. You went there to learn. So when you attend a training, please don't hold back. Ensure you're always there to ask a question. If you want to know something deep, ensure they answer you the way you want it to be answered. If you're not satisfied, I believe that's why those trainers are there, to answer everything to your satisfaction. So even if they are paying maybe a small amount of money to attend, that money you can't compare it with the knowledge that you come out with from that training. So it's so important to attend such training. Then you have a global collaboration. When you talk about animals, we can even talk about animals globally because in our country, I think we also export meat, and we import some type of meat also. So when you talk about livestock, we have to talk about it also globally. So the first one is research and knowledge sharing. Collaboration among scientists, farmers, policymakers, and organizations can lead to the development and dissemination of best practices. So farming also involves scientists because scientists are people also that are curious. They want to know. Maybe you can find a scientist who is interested in knowing how a cow thinks, how a cow reasons. So collaborating with farmers, policymakers, scientists, and also organizations is also a way of increasing development maybe in a community because they are learning from each other. Maybe the scientists can tell the farmers whatever they need to know and they need to know. Organizations, maybe they can bring people together and conduct those trainings. So that one is also important. Then you have certification and labeling. Establishing clear labeling for sustainably produced meat helps consumers make informed choices and rewards responsible producers. So when you're going to sell your products, maybe sell your meat, and try to always label it. Especially these manufactured. Are they manufactured? We have minced meat. You know, minced meat is something that not farmers don't make it at home. They're made maybe in a factory. So ensure your products are always labeled. If they are good, they are good quality. they are sweet, the quantity is good. At the end of the day, you can even be rewarded actually, if at all they realize that that meat belongs to you. So labeling is always very important. And we have international agreements. Agreements on sustainable livestock production can promote global efforts to address environmental and social changes associated with the meat production. Then let's talk about long-term outlook. When you're a livestock farmer or any type of farmer, you always have goals, long-term goals. You always see ahead. You don't just sit just there where you are. You should always focus ahead. So here we also have the long-term outlook. Under the long-term outlook, we have innovation adoption, we have consumer awareness, holistic approach, and many others. So let's break them down into smaller pieces. Let's start with innovation adoption. Continued research and innovation in areas like feed efficiency, genetics, and waste management will drive the evolution of sustainable livestock farming. Actually, we have different researchers in different areas. There are researchers who are still doing research concerning the meat production, concerning the sustainable livestock farming. So continued research and innovation are in such areas like feed efficiency, like where do we get the feeds, how do we handle the feeds, the genetics, how do we manage as farmers to have a new breed. How do you do breeding? How do you practice breeding? And how do you manage your waste? So, researching on such can drive the evolution of sustainable livestock farming. Then we have consumer awareness. So, as a consumer, consciousness grows. Demand for sustainable meat will encourage more farmers to adopt responsible practices. So, when you're in an area where the demand for meat is so high, definitely you just have that urge, or even you just want to practice livestock farming, because at the end of the day you will get market. When the meat demand is always so high, you always want to practice that livestock farming so that you become one of the farmers who will be selling meat to the consumers. So you should always be aware, what do consumers in this area want? Do they love meat? Is meat in high demand in this area? Is it on high demand in this area? You always want to know the demand, the market demand actually. If so many people want meat and you're a farmer who gives livestock, you're that's an advantage to you, because at the end of the day you'll be taking them to the market and people will still be buying lots of them. That is if your area has so many butcheries actually. Where I come from, we only have, in my life I've grown up only knowing one butchery and it has never gone down. So if you want to, I can say that in my area there is high demand for meat because it's just one butchery. Yes, at the end of the day, maybe that seller from that butchery is getting so much money because he's the only one. But now those livestock farmers who are now selling the meat to him, he can choose whatever he wants and he can buy it at whichever price that he wants, because at the end of the day he's the only one. So in my area we don't have high demand for meat, but there are areas that have so many butcheries. The areas that have so many butcheries. So such areas that have so many butcheries, definitely there is high meat demand. So livestock farmers attempt to sell so much. Then we have holistic approach, integrating livestock production with other agricultural and ecological systems will become increasingly important for a long-term sustainability. Integrating livestock population with other agricultural and ecological systems will become increasingly important for long-term sustainability. Actually, this one, it just depends with how you'll be approaching this livestock farming. It depends with how you're starting, how you'll be handling your animals, how you'll be taking good care of your animals, if at all you're ready to take the risk, how you'll be managing the risk. That is just basically holistic approach. So in conclusion, the journey towards sustainable meat production requires a multi-faceted approach that involves technological advancements, policy support, consumer awareness, and global cooperation. Never assume that nobody cares about animals. As a farmer, you should care about the animal welfare. Never just assume that an animal should just be treated anyhow. Should take good care of your animals. Don't just be beating your animals anyhow the way I used to do when I was young. Actually, personally, I've gained a sheep to a point of that sheep even miscarrying. When I was young, I always say I was young and stupid. Now I know better, so I can't do such a thing. So take good care of your animals. Don't just be punishing them by beating them left, right, and center. You never know where that animal is being hurt. We are still live on YouTube at Farmers Media, on Facebook at Farmers Media, on Twitter at Farmers with the Z underscore media, and on our website www.farmers.com. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you follow our Facebook page. Our main topic is still livestock rearing for meat production. So we talk about research and development. In the research and development, we have so much. I think we don't have so much. We have genetic improvement and we have climate resilient breeds. Today we're just talking about animals for meat. If you love meat, we are here. That's what we are talking about. If you're a livestock farmer who is always looking for market for their animals, that is what we are talking about. If you are a potential farmer, if you are a farmer who wants to venture into livestock farming, especially for meat production, actually there are animals that are just kept for meat only. There are animals that are kept for milk and also meat production. Just like we also have poultry, we have chicken that are just kept for meat. We have layers. Another type of chicken is always layer. Broilers are kept for meat. Then you just feed them, they grow fat, but they will never lay eggs. You just keep them for meat. Then you have layers. You keep them for laying eggs. That's why they are called layers. You'll be feeding them. It's always a mixture. I think when you're buying them, it's always a mixture of both the male and the female. So the cock and the hen, yes. So there's a mixture. So at the end of the day, they'll be laying eggs. Broilers will be giving you meat. The same way cows, there are cows that have for meat, and some they also produce milk. So it depends with the type that you want to keep. So let's talk about research and development. Let's start with the genetic improvement. Breeding livestock for traits like disease resistance, feed efficiency, and reduce environmental impact can enhance sustainability. When you improve the breeding of your livestock, like when you take maybe an Ayrshire and breed it with the Kienyeji cows, let me just call them Kienyeji because they have a name. Hizi zenye ziko tu huko nyumbani, just take them to the farm, they graze, and then you bring them back. Those are the ones I'm calling the Kienyeji. When you breed them, there's always a way that the product that comes from that breeding, the result that comes from that breeding will always resist diseases. It feeds differently at the end of the day, yeah. So in that way, it has an impact. It reduces environmental impact, and that enhances sustainability. Then we have climate resilient breeds. Developing breeds adapted to changing climate conditions can reduce the vulnerability of livestock to extreme weather conditions. There are some types of breeds that are so adapted to the climate change. Even if you take it anywhere, it will always adapt. But there are some that will never adapt. There are some that will never adapt. When you take them from a hot area to a cold area, they will be affected, they will become sick. But there are certain breeds, there are good breeds out there, that even when you move them from a cold area to a hot area, they will adapt. When you move them from a hot area to a cold area, they will always adapt. So it depends. Ensure you have the right breed according to how you'll be handling the animals. Kama wewe ni mtu wa kuhamahama, it will always be moving. Ensure your breeds can adapt to different climate changes. Then you have waste management and recycling. Under waste management and recycling, we have biogas production and composting. We are still talking about animals, don't confuse. So under biogas production, utilizing animal waste for biogas production not only reduces waste but also generates renewable energy. If you didn't know, you can use animal waste to provide energy. Animal waste can help produce energy, by the way, because we all know that the moment the waste comes out and it's fresh, it's always hot. So I think there's a way that it can always produce energy. You realize that there are some areas that they get their energy from even the latrines that we humans use. So even using the animal waste can also generate renewable energy, and it reduces waste, because now waste will not just be all over without the waste will not just be all over and they're not helping in anything. The waste will always be there to help in generating renewable energy. And then we have composting. Proper composting of manure can create valuable soil amendments while minimizing nutrient runoff. So when you have manure from your animals, you can take them to your farm, and then after they have mixed properly with the soil will be so fertile and you can easily plant your crops there in your fertile soil, and the crops will do well. Then you have circular economy principles. Under circular economy principles, we also have two subtopics, that is byproduct utilization and closed loop systems. So under byproduct utilization, utilizing byproducts like wool, hide and feathers for other industries reduces waste and adds value to the entire production process. I don't know if you've seen, in my culture, when making the traditional attire for Luos, we normally use the chicken feathers. That is also a way of utilizing such byproducts. You can even use horns, the cow horns. They normally blow them. I think I've seen them mostly in the music festivals when I was in high school. They blow them. And I think they also used to use the horns back then during our ancestors' time to communicate those horns. So those animal horns can also be used. Those are some of the byproducts that can also be utilized. You can use it as a music instrument, the horn, and then the feathers, you can use them to make clothes and even caps. Actually, if you've never known, maybe you can go research about my culture, the Luo culture. You realize that we make some of our traditional attires from the feathers. We use the feathers and also the caps that we wear in our traditional events. We use also the feathers, and also the animal skin. We also use the animal skin. Well, I think everything concerning animals revolves around my tribe. But anyway, yeah, you can use those byproducts in different ways. The animal hide, you can use it even to make clothes. It was used even back then, but nowadays I think they just use it when you have a traditional event. Then you have closed loop systems. Integrating crops, residue and food waste as feed can create closed loop systems, reducing the need for external inputs. When you have crop residues and food waste, you can even use those to feed your animals. Actually, I don't know if you've seen cows that feed on ugali, or it just cows from my area. I'm not sure about that, but I've seen cows from my area feeding from ugali. And even the high school that I went to, the cows that we had there, they used to feed on the remains that we used to eat from the school kitchen. So I think those food waste can also be used to feed animals. Then we have education and awareness. Under education and awareness, we also have training farmers and educating consumers. So on training farmers, providing training in sustainable practices empowers farmers to adopt better management techniques and minimizes negative impacts. So when you have a training for farmers, maybe you can be inviting farmers to train them on different types of farmings, maybe on crops that they should plant during different seasons. Maybe you can inform them about an outbreak that maybe might be there in the future. So that's why, as a farmer, we always encourage you to attend such training. It will always have a great impact on you as a farmer, and maybe you might also get there and educate other farmers on something that they didn't know. So it's good to be aware. It's always good to be aware, and also apart from being aware, it's just good just be a curious farmer. when there's a training, don't just sit at home. Just make an effort of attending a training and know what is going on in these trainings. Don't just sit there. If at all you're a farmer who has been skipping trainings, today I want to challenge you. To go try one. Just attend one training. Then you come back and tell me the results. Maybe you can come back and tell me how the training was. Whatever. If you didn't learn anything, then continue sitting at home. But if at all you learn something from the trainings, never give up. Continue attending those trainings. Don't always feel that you've attended enough. Maybe whatever was taught last time will not be taught this time. This time there's a new thing that will be taught. So I'll always encourage you to attend the training for farmers. Then educating consumers, raising consumer awareness about the impacts of their food choices encourages a demand for sustainable meat, prompting changes across the supply chain. Actually, talking about educating consumers, if it was in my power, I would just be doing it my own way. Just like a speaker, because now consumers are so many, you can't invite them once. So I think the best way to relay messages to consumers, if not online, not everybody is always on social media. So maybe in our villages, the best way to relay that information is just using a speaker and talking to them loudly, because now when you use a microphone, everybody will hear. And at least where I come from, when we hear microphone, it must always be a last. I'm from a village. I was raised in the rural area. So each and every time when I talk about where I come from, don't start imagining that I'm from an urban setup. So in my place, at least when we hear a microphone, we are always curious to know whatever that person is saying. So in the rural areas, I think that is the best way that you can talk to consumers about choosing the types of food that they should buy. But you can also share it on social media. For those who are in social media, you can educate consumers on social media on the benefits of the types of food that they want to buy. Maybe the meat, the white meat, the red meat, the benefits of milk. It will get to so many people maybe through social media. Then we have adaptation to climate change. Under adaptation to climate change, we have resilient infrastructure and water management. So let's talk about resilient infrastructure. Building climate resilient infrastructure like shade structures and improved ventilation can mitigate heat stress and disease risk. So when you're constructing a shade for your animals, ensure it is good in that, to an extent that no sun will just be getting inside there and heating your animals, because you should treat your animals just like you treat your own children, just like you treat your own siblings, your relatives. Just ensure that they are in a safe place. They are not rained on, because the moment your animals are rained on, they can be sick. Hiyo jua kali haijawachapa. Ensure they are always safe and free from sun. They just get enough air. Let enough air circulate in that environment. So you should always consider all that when you are building a structure for your animals. And then we also have water management. Implementing efficient irrigation and water saving techniques can help livestock adapt to changing water availability. So you should always implement a way of keeping your water. When it rains, ensure you have your gutters in your home, and then maybe have a tank. You can have a specific tank for your animals. That is, if you're so sure that you don't have enough water around your place, ensure you have maybe a tank just for your animals. You collect water there for them. If there's a water body around, ensure you bring that water at enough, so that when your animals need that water, they can get it. When you follow all those instructions, when you look for techniques of bringing water, your animals will always be sure that there is always water. They will not be there starving and at the same time they're thirsty, or even they have eaten and there is no water. It's not healthy. So always look for techniques, implement efficient irrigation and water saving techniques that can help your animals adapt to changing water availability. Then we have economic viability. Before I get into the economic viability, I'm still encouraging you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow our Facebook page, both of them at Farmers Media. We are live on both the Facebook and the YouTube channel, and also you should click on our website www.farmers.com, and also Twitter. We have a Twitter space there, that is farmersmedia.com, that is farmers_media. Yes. Then let's talk about economic viability. Under economic viability, we have value added products, then we have payment for ecosystem services. Under value added products, developing processed and value added products from meat can reduce waste and increase profitability for farmers. We have different types of meat. You can buy meat that is just a whole meat. It's not been processed anywhere. We have minced meat actually. There are people who just love minced meat, and there are people who just love this meat that hasn't been processed. So those we can even use meat to make even sausages and even smokies. So that is just a way of processing meat into different products. You'll get different customers. You'll hear that there are customers who love smokies, there are customers who love sausages, and then there are customers who just love minced meat. So when you process the meat products into different products, you get different customers. Like nowadays, I realize that youths love smokies and sausages a lot. They might not love the meat, just the meat that is not processed, but at least they love something like smokies and also sausages. So you get so much money when you start processing such products. So those are the value added products. Then you have payment for ecosystem services. Implementing mechanisms that reward farmers for maintaining healthy ecosystems can incentivize sustainable practices. Actually, when you implement mechanisms in a way that you'll be rewarding farmers who are taking good care of their animals, I'm sure all farmers will now start taking good care of their animals. Each and every farmer will just want to look at the welfare of their animals, because they know at the end of the day there's always a reward. It's just like when you're in school, when you're a student, and you're just sure that at the end of the term, when you become number one, I'll be rewarded, I'll be given a trophy, I'll be given money. You will struggle so hard to be number one. I remember back in my primary school, we had a challenge that if you're number 1, 2, or 3, or even you're best in a subject, because they used to call each best in different subjects, after the release of the exams, when everybody else is leaving the hall, you remain there, and then you're given 500 milliliters soda and donuts. Let me tell you, my friends, people used to struggle. People used to burn the midnight oil, so that even if you don't manage to become number 1 or 2 or 3, at least you're best in a subject. Yani hapo number 1, 2, 3 tuliachia wengine, lakini struggling for that one subject. I used to focus on English so much, because I used to know that at the end of the term, if I become number 1 in English, I'll be taking that soda. And you know, as a kid, you're just happy because now you've been given a soda and donuts. At the end of the day, you know there's a reward. So you will really struggle. You burn the midnight oil, you read every time. Hakuna kitu inakupita. You ensure you're always at par with people, so that at the end of the time you can take that soda and donuts. So that's how we used to do it back in primary school when I was still a student. So the same way, if you implement a way that you'll be rewarding farmers, a mechanism that you'll be rewarding farmers who are taking good care of their animals, there is no farmer who will not take care of their animal. They will always struggle to be the best. Because it will be a competition. A farmer will say that, this time they have rewarded the other person. Now next time I want it to be me. I have to do it better. And the animals are the ones that will be enjoying, because now you as a farmer, you're struggling to get a reward and you're taking good care of the animals. I think that is the best way. They should implement a mechanism for rewarding farmers who are taking good care of the animals. All the animals will always be at peace. Then you have continuous improvement. Under continuous improvement, you have monitoring and evaluation, and you have feedback loops. So let's talk about monitoring and evaluation. A regular assessment of environmental and social impacts allows for the refinement of practices and strategies over time. So if you regularly assess your environment, you regularly assess where you're rearing your cows, at least you will improve on how you'll be taking care of them, because each and every morning you always assess, this cow is sick or it's not sick, what should I do to make it better? So that is just the importance also of monitoring and evaluation. Then you have feedback loops. Establishing feedback loops between farmers, researchers and policymakers can accelerate the adoption of best practices. You have to look for a way of how people will be giving feedback. Like for example, here in a farmers, I'm talking to you about a certain topic, but now we have the comment section in our social media platforms where you can always give us feedback on whatever you have learned or whatever you want us to expound more on. Just the same way now, we should establish a feedback loop for farmers, researchers, and also policymakers, because everyone is learning from each other. We are all learning from each other. The same way farmers are learning from researchers, and they are also learning from policymakers. Then we have collaborative initiatives. Under collaborative initiatives, we have public-private partnerships and also closed sectoral collaboration. So, when I talk about public-private partnerships, this is what I mean. Collaborations between governments, NGOs, research institutions, and the private sector can pool resources for sustainable meat production. When the government is always collaborating with these private sectors, of which I believe they do so, they will always find ways of handling the meat production sector, and they can even find a market for farmers who are into the meat production sector. They can even find ways of helping them export their products to the outside countries and even generate income for our country. So it's so important for the government to collaborate or to partner with the NGOs and also the research institutions, because when they also collaborate or partner with the research institutions, you can always take your meat to be tested in the labs, that is or even in a research institution before it's finally exported. It can only be exported with the help of the government. So you have to collaborate. Maybe this NGO belongs maybe to a foreign country, and then the government has partnered with the NGO, and now they want to take maybe the meat to a country, a foreign country. So before the meat is taken to a foreign country, definitely it has to be tested in the laboratory. The laboratory is definitely now the research institution. So I don't know if you see how that partnership can work. The government has partnered with the NGO, and now they partner together with the research institution. So after the meat has been tested that the results are good, the government can liaise with the research institution and the NGO so that they export the meat to a foreign country. And then at the end of the day, we as the country were the ones who get the money well, and then a farmer is also benefiting from that kind of partnership. Then you have cross-sectoral collaboration, that is linking livestock farming with forestry, water management, and also conservation efforts that can create synergies for sustainability. So in the long run, the evolution of sustainable farming requires a collective effort from all stakeholders, that is the producers, the consumers, the policymakers, and the researchers. So by embracing innovation, adopting responsible practices, and making informed choices, we can pave the way for future where meat production supports both human needs and the health of our planet. So I also say that each and every time that I'm having a topic, I still talk about technology. There are different types of technologies that we can apply in this topic. So we're just moving to the next, integration of technology. So under integration of technology, we have data-driven decision making, we have vertical farming. So let's focus on data-driven decision making. Smart technologies like IoT sensors and data analytics enable real-time monitoring of animal health, optimizing feed usage, and minimizing waste. So the moment you have technologies like IoT sensors and data analytics, it's so easy to monitor your animal's health. So easy to know the feed, how they are feeding, and it's so easy to minimize waste because now this is the use of technology. It's always sensing that now there is excess animal waste here, you need to take it to your farm, and it's always sensing that animals are feeding here, but now they're wasting the feeds because maybe you can be giving your animals feeds and then they eat while throwing them down. Now with the sensors, they can easily indicate that the animals are now wasting food. You should put this amount of food in order for them not to waste the food. Then we have vertical farming. Indoor farming systems can reduce environmental impact of livestock by utilizing vertical space and controlled environment. I think by now we've learned so much the advantages of even meat production because at the end of the day, with the partnership of different departments, will embrace the meat production sector, and it will help us as humans, and it will help us as humans in our health. At the end of the day, we know the good meat, the type of meat that we should be taking, the amount of meat that we should be taking. It will also help us generate income. When it comes to generating income, that after exporting maybe the meat, you as a farmer, you are paid your own share, and even the government gets their own share. So rearing animals for meat production is very, very important and is very key for us as farmers. So if you're a farmer who practices livestock farming, be sure that you're in the right track, as long as you're taking good care of your animals, checking the animal welfare, ensuring that your animal is in good health, feeding them properly, checking the market demand, knowing when to take your animals to the market. You use even the products you use even the products in your home. You feed on the products like the chicken, you feed on the eggs, you drink milk, you take the meat. It has so many advantages when you're rearing your livestock for meat production. It has so many advantages because you'll be having food, you'll be getting money, maybe you'll be attending trainings that you'll be meeting big people who you can partner with. So our topic of today was a very, very important topic, and it was an exciting one to be precise. I've learned a lot from the topic that I've handled. I know you've also learned a lot. I asked a question when we started concerning an article that I just read today. That President William Ruto had given an order that the Taita Taveta National Park should have a 50-50 revenue collection between the county government of Taita and the Taita Taveta National Park. Is it a good thing? Do you think that they should share the 50-50%? Or what do you think? You can tell me as your viewer, what do you think about that order that was given by President William Ruto concerning the 50-50 sharing of the revenue collected from the national park? Anyway, that's all we had for you. I'm so excited about today. It has been a good topic. It's been an interesting topic to share with you. This has still been the Breakfast Show. I'd like to thank my viewers who are with me up to this point. I really appreciate, and I'd also like to thank my director Doti, who enabled this show to go on air. I don't take it for granted. Kuamka asubuhi kukuja kudirect show is not easy, but I really appreciate. Kudos to you for always coming early enough so that we start the show right on time. That's what we had for you, my viewers. Ensure you still follow us on our social media platforms. We'll be having the Mid-Morning Show with Regina and we'll be having the Farm Drive Show with Gyosh Mbugwa and Boss Queen. Ensure you tune in the Mid-Morning Show from 11 to 1 and the Farm Drive Show from 3 to 5. Ensure you tune in so that you also get to learn a lot from both the shows. I've been your host, Mary Oswero. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Across the sun now, across the sun now,
Agriculture is 80% of our economy in Kenya. So I can advise them to do agricultural courses.
They take the agriculture courses.
Yeah, they do the agricultural courses.
Iko pesa.
Iko pesa.
Oh, umeona pesa. Lakini unajua wewe ni mwana biashara. Make a date with me every Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 9:15 in the morning here at the Farmers Media, the breakfast show. Let us start the day right here. This is Noana Sia.